A strange wolf spirit stood behind Ed. Only Lucy could hear it speaking. Save Yenica in the future. Ed looked confused. You say that, but I don't see anything. More importantly, Ed had a much bigger problem. He thought he had finally managed to get Yenica off his back. But now things were somehow getting even worse. Why was Lucy sleeping inside his shelter? Thanks to her tiny stature and her ability to walk through the air like a floating cat, Lucy could go anywhere she wanted. Clock towers, rooftops, hidden corners. And now, Ed's campsite deep inside the northern forest of Akan Island. The cool breeze, the nearby stream, the peaceful atmosphere. To Lucy, it was the perfect place to skip class and take naps. The next day, Ed realized just how dangerous this situation actually was. Lucy had casually flown across the island while half asleep, while casting multiple high-level spells at the same time. If someone this absurd kept hanging around his camp, the original story of the game might completely fall apart. So Ed tried preparing for survival instead. Construction completed. Crafting skill increased. New crafted item, snare trap. A simple trap made from rope and a bent branch, capable of catching small animals. But before he could even relax, Lucy stole some of his jerky. Ooh, what an interesting taste. She didn't listen to anything he said. And since she had already visited his camp multiple times, it was obvious she would keep coming back. Ed desperately tried remembering information from the game guides. Every single one of them agreed on one thing. There was absolutely no way to defeat Lucy Mayriel. However, Ed suddenly remembered a tiny detail most players ignored. Every single day, the maids from Arflis Hall chased Lucy around the academy, and Lucy always ran away from them. So when Ed casually mentioned that the maids were currently searching for her, Lucy immediately panicked. I just remembered something urgent. And just like that, Lucy Mayriel disappeared. Ed thought the problem was solved. Lucy had only stayed at his camp for 2 days. Surely that wouldn't affect the story. But he quickly realized. He had become far too complacent. Soon after, the academy began its joint combat training. A tournament made up of one-on-one mock battles between students from every department. Combat students used practice weapons. Magic students were restricted to basic spells. Alchemy students were forbidden from using powerful potions. And every important character in the story participated. Princess Peenia. Lortel, the Golden Daughter. Ziggs, the Spear from Nature. Yenica, the Elementalist. And of course, the protagonist himself. Taylor McLaw, the failed swordsman. Ed wasn't interested in most of the matches. He already knew how the story would end. But suddenly, he remembered something horrifying. In the original timeline, Ed Rothstaler had already been expelled by now. Which meant he had no idea who his own opponent would be. Then he saw the bracket. Peenia Elias Kroll. Ed's opponent was the princess herself. At the same time, another announcement echoed through the arena. Lucy Mayriel and Taylor McLaw, please proceed to the stage. Ed immediately focused on Taylor. He had replayed this game countless times. He had seen every bad ending, every heartbreaking route, and the true ending as well. Not a single path had ever been easy. So even if Ed only wanted to protect himself now, he still found himself cheering for Taylor. Because this duel was supposed to become the beginning of Taylor's legend. But there was one problem. Lucy was missing. Everyone panicked. If the duel didn't happen, the future itself could change. Then suddenly, Lucy appeared beside Ed. I'm hungry, do you have any more of that jerky? Go do your duel first. Finally, the match began. Top first-year student Lucy Mayriel versus Taylor McLaw, the future swordmaster. A boy who had never even properly held a sword before. Yet somehow, Taylor managed to cut through Lucy's lightning-fast magic. For the first time, Lucy looked surprised. Taylor closed the distance. And just as the story should have gone, Lucy accidentally cast an intermediate-level lightning spell. In the original game, that mistake caused her disqualification, and made Taylor the first person to ever defeat Lucy Mayriel. It was the moment that inspired him to walk the path of the Swordmaster. Ed watched excitedly. This is it. But then, something felt wrong. That wasn't lightning magic. It was wind magic. The winner is Lucy Mayriel. Taylor lost. And in that moment, Ed realized the story had already begun changing. The winner is Lucy Mayriel. Taylor lost. The spark in Taylor's eyes vanished instantly. An overwhelming difference in power could crush someone's spirit in a single moment. Yikes, this could be really bad. Leaving him alone right now was the worst possible option. Ed immediately realized what had changed. In the original story, Lucy and the Great Spirit Marilda were never supposed to meet. But after Lucy stayed at Ed's camp, the storm's blessing had already begun changing the future. Lucy had become even stronger. Next up are Ed Rofstala and Princess Peenia Elias Kroll. But Ed barely cared about the duel. Taylor should have won. This battle was supposed to inspire Taylor to pick up the sword and gain confidence. Instead, everything had gone wrong because Ed Rofstala still existed within the academy. Ed quickly chased after Taylor. Hey, Taylor. I don't know if this will help, but it's better than nothing. Your efforts will definitely bear fruit. Don't beat yourself up over this. You just had bad luck with the bracket. There are way too many ridiculous trials waiting at this academy. So don't despair over something this small. Ed desperately tried encouraging him. Because if Taylor truly fell into despair here, then Ed himself might end up facing a doomed future instead. Meanwhile, Princess Peenia quietly watched him. Everyone around her mocked Ed. He's just pretending to be nice. He used to bully Taylor. He's obviously hiding some selfish motive. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Ed Rofstala truly had been a terrible person. A noble who abused his status. Someone who tampered with entrance exams and humiliated weaker students. At least, that was who he used to be. But when Peenia remembered the desperation in Ed's voice while cheering for Taylor, she couldn't ignore it anymore. Now then, begin the duel. Peenia attacked immediately. Water magic surged toward Ed. But, I've lost. Ed simply stepped aside and allowed himself to be hit directly. The audience burst into laughter. He went down in one blow. That was even worse than Taylor. But Peenia froze. From the moment he stepped onto the stage, Ed Rofstala never once looked her in the eyes. The winner is Princess Peenia Elias Kroll. So he never intended to fight seriously at all. After the duel, Peenia stopped him outside. What's wrong with you? You never intended to fight me properly. All you wanted was to leave the stage as quickly as possible. Overwhelmed by academy duties, politics, professors, and imperial pressure, Peenia finally snapped. Ed quietly listened. Then calmly spoke. Princess, calm down. Take a breath. Breathe in, and breathe out. Peenia suddenly realized how agitated she had become. You're right, this is a bad habit of mine. Growing up within the imperial palace had forced her to constantly doubt everyone's intentions. So she asked him directly. You tried to get disowned by your family because you knew about the dark side of House Rofstala, didn't you? That's a sharp deduction. Half of it is wrong. Ed admitted there truly was darkness within House Rofstala. But he refused to explain further. Then Peenia asked the question bothering her most. Why did you encourage Taylor earlier? Why would you cheer for someone you tried to destroy? Those were very good questions. But Ed couldn't tell her the truth. Because the only advantage he had in this world was his knowledge of the story. So instead, he lied. I just wanted people to see me differently. Insightful eyes activated instantly. Lie. It's true though. Lie. Really, I swear. Lie. Peenia had no proof. But she knew he was hiding something. Finally, she sighed. You may leave. As Ed walked away, Peenia quietly stared at him. Her entire life had been spent seeing through lies. But this was the first time. Someone had seen through her own facade instead. You seem exhausted, princess. This isn't the imperial court. It's Sylvania Academy. Those simple words struck deeper than she expected. But Ed had no time to think about that now. If Taylor gave up here, then both his peaceful future, and perhaps even the world itself, could collapse. Taylor? But before Ed could continue searching, don't come any closer. Ayla Triss stood in front of Taylor protectively, main heroine of the story, and someone who still hated Ed Rofstala completely. Stop bullying Taylor already. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. See you in the next video.